Ég ætla að sýna hérna myndband af Windows 10. Nú er Microsoft búið að sýna svona helstu breytingar sem verða Windows 10. Hvenær það kemur á markað veit ég ekki, en það er svona áætlað einhvern tímann mitt næsta ár. En Windows 10 tekur miklu breytingum, það er að segja meira svona eins og að segja under the hood. Það er ekki miklar grafískar breytingar nema þá einna helst í þessum startnappi, að þar er hægt að svona minni kannski svolítið eins og Windows 7, nema það er svona búið að blanda þessu saman Windows 8.1 og Windows 7, þannig að grafíska viðmóti reyndar er orðið svolítið smart, og þeir sem hafa verið að gagnrýna þetta hafa bara gefið þessu jákvæða gagnrýni. Kíkjum á þetta.
The first thing you'll notice is the familiar Windows Start menu is back. And we've tried hard to balance having a super familiar user experience with delivering terrific new improvements. In particular, including a space you can personalize with live tiles for your favorite apps, people, and websites. Search is back, and we've put it both in the Start menu and on the taskbar. So whenever you're looking for something, you'll get results from your PC, but also from the web. One of the biggest new features in Windows 8 was the Windows App Store. But when you ran an app, it was always full screen, optimized for a tablet-type device. With Tech Preview, we're improving how store apps work for all kinds of PCs, including ones with or without touch, and for big giant screens. Thus, apps from the Windows Store now open in the same format that your desktop programs do. You can resize them and move them around. And they have title bars at the top, so you can maximize, minimize, and close with a click. Windows is great at helping people get stuff done. And one of the areas we're looking for feedback in the Tech Preview is multitasking. Let's look at some of these features. First, we've added a new Task View button, so you can quickly switch between all your open apps. Simple. We've improved the way Windows snap so that it's easier and more powerful. When you snap a window, Windows will make smart suggestions on filling the available screen space with other open apps. You can also now have up to 4 apps snapped on the same screen. If you're working on a lot of different projects using different apps and files, try adding a desktop. Adding a desktop keeps things neatly organized for you. Or you can create a desktop for the things you do at work and a separate one for the things you do at home.
Welcome to Lifehacker, where we install the Windows 10 preview so you don't have to. At first glance, you'll see that it looks quite similar to Windows 8, with the exception of this technical preview icon and a few new icons down here in the taskbar. We'll get to those in a moment, but let's start with the obvious. The Start menu is back. It looks a little different this time around, as expected, but it works quite nicely. The left side is the same as before, with a more flat, colorful look, but you can press all apps to see all of your installed programs just like you could before. On the right side, you'll see some of the Start screen's infamous live tiles. I actually really like these, so I'm glad to see them here. Just like the old Start screen, you can move them around, resize them, remove them if you don't like them. You can also resize the entire Start menu itself, at least vertically. To enlarge it horizontally, you can just pin new apps and it'll adjust itself automatically. The Start menu also has search, just like it always did, though this time it includes web searches along with its results, so you can see those here. And if you search for a specific site like Lifehacker, it'll give you a shortcut to go straight there. By default, it uses Internet Explorer, but if you install another browser like Firefox, it'll use whatever you've set as the default. Now you'll notice some minor changes to the way windows look in Windows 10, namely they don't have the borders around the edges. You can still resize them as normal, but everything looks a little bit cleaner. You'll also notice that the File Explorer's icon looks a little different, and if you open it up, you'll see a few cosmetic changes inside as well. Mostly the icons for things like desktop, hard drives, and home group, things like that have a flatter look, though not all of the icons have changed just yet. If you open up an app formerly known as Metro, like the Windows Store, it'll start maximized, though you can resize it, move it around, and use it just like any other window, which is different than Windows 8. You can also snap them to the edges, and in the empty space, you'll get an overview of other open windows, which is kind of cool. If you click on the Task Preview button in the taskbar, you'll get an overview of all of your open windows, much like Expose on the Mac. There are no fancy animations or anything happening, but it's possible they just haven't been put together yet. You can also add multiple desktops to keep your workspace from getting too cluttered. You'll even get a little indicator of which apps are open on another virtual desktop so you don't lose anything.